Rob has a great instinct about buoyancy, and it never ceases to amaze me when you're talking to these physics professors who, I mean, they know physics well enough to be on faculty at major universities, and you start talking about buoyancy and they're going, huh, and they know that the bottom line that I'm advocating is kind of we need to be reevaluating the conservation of energy and momentum, and whether there's another layer of onion that is really not talked about much at all. And so Rob, when I was showing him what I had, and he was going, well, Drake, can you explain this and he can explain that? And then he got to the buoyancy thing, and Rob and a couple other people that had his background was saying, well, yeah, that's obvious. And that was usually the sticking point for the professors. But you and a couple other people who were good sailors, they tended to get it like that. So anyway, here's Rob.
Hello. As a former world-ranked swimmer specializing in the butterfly, buoyancy is very, very important for swimmers, isn't it, Drake?
Yes, it is, without a doubt. Particularly if you want to stay alive when you're swimming. And so that's I swear this is, I'm joking, I'm laughing, but I'm telling you, you get a good instinct for buoyancy if you're worried about drowning. That's and none of the tenured peer professors got it as quickly as Rob would get it.
Yeah, if you're a high school student who's engrossed in physics, or you're a college student as a physics major, we urge you to look at this information and maybe discuss with your professor or your teacher what is happening with this sudden inversion, and see if you can come up with an explanation, what your thoughts are to solve this mystery that's happening right beneath us.
And what we'd like to do is get a little bit of a momentum to push this along, because I think that this is a very fascinating topic, and it's inversion physics.
For you social science majors out there, what Drake is trying to say is that the granddaughter of famous scientist Ernest Rutherford, she conducted some experiments of bouncing energy waves through the Earth and into the liquid molten core. And she would record the data. And what was on the Prem table, as she made it, was that at a certain depth into the molten core, the numbers all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, they flip. That's the inversion. And this data has been lost for a number of years. And so now Drake has discovered this Prem table and said, wait a minute, what happens at this level? What is causing this? Why is this happening? And slowly, a person here, a person there are looking and going, yes, what is happening beneath us? What in the world, what inside the world is happening? That's why we wanted to make this video and bring to your attention the Prem table that has all of the research data, and you can see a very, very clear flip in the numbers. And so we urge you to look at the Prem table, and we'd love to see your comments below, and take this to your teacher, take this to your professor and say, what do you think about this? And we would love to hear the reaction.
You know what's another interesting thing is, and you haven't seen this, the original Prem table that Mary Fowler made along with several others, they had all these seismic waves. So there were all these columns, and there was basically too much information. The more you study it, the more you sit there and say, well, should I look at this part, or this part, or this part more? It's very much like relativity was in 1905, where you're learning that there's a paradox, you're learning that time's slowing, but you're also learning a lot of other things. And this inverted physics, I think, is a wealth of untapped mystery that can help solve a lot of problems, particularly dark energy and particularly the red light shift. And yeah, I think it's a big deal.